Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I have a guest on talking about the upcoming Alzheimer's Walk and also the West Georgia Hospice Benefit Concert. So stay tuned for those guests coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have a new twist for you. Today we're going to be doing Facebook Live, so I hope that you'll enjoy the show. And today I have on as a guest from Wellstar, I have Account Executive, Business Development, Josh O'Neill. Josh,
hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Josh, it's been a while since you and I sat down to talk about the things that are happening in and around our community. And I know that you have been here on the show before, talked about the Alzheimer's Walk, and it's coming up pretty soon. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about your role, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I am the account executive for our post-acute services. My job is to go out into the community to educate physicians, nurses, caregivers, patients, families about what services are available through Wellstar, West Georgia. With home health, hospice, and our two nursing homes, Florence Hand Home and Twin Fountains.
Okay, very good. And Josh, you know, before you came on the air, I understand you're getting ready to go back to school as well. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
I started on Monday with Ohio University doing my master's in healthcare administration.
Okay.
So a little stressful doing an online program. You know, it's definitely different not being in the classroom, having to learn based off just being online.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the very best on your online class, and I know you do well too. Got a great attitude about it.
I'll call you every week, and so you can give me the confidence again.
Okay, I'll do that. I promise. Now, Josh, you've been involved with the Alzheimer's Walk for about 6 years now.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about why have you been involved that long?
Yeah, it was about, I think, 9 years ago when my grandmother had passed with Alzheimer's, and I remember not really understanding. It was before I got into healthcare, and I didn't really understand what Alzheimer's was. So when I came to work at the hospital here, someone had approached me about the Alzheimer's Association, said it was a great cause. So I started looking into it. We were only raising about $800 at the time for the LaGrange office. Okay. And so I checked with my boss to see if I could get involved in it. She said that'd be great. So, being in home health and hospice, I mean, Alzheimer's directly ties in with that. Okay. So it does have something to do with my job and getting out there in the community. And from there, getting the hospital involved, having employees, join our walk. I think the first year we did like $7,000, and it just doubled and doubled from there. Now our goal this year for the Alzheimer's Association with our Walk to End Alzheimer's is $53,000. Oh, so it's exponentially
grown tremendously.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, good. There's so many wonderful people to come out and help with this. I was just listening to numbers from $800 up to $7,000, and then you have a goal of $53,000. How are those funds used, Josh, when they're raised in the community? If you don't tell us how that.
Okay. So the alz.org, that is the website that I always want to push people to. From there, if a person is a caregiver of someone with Alzheimer's, they can find the resources that they need on the website. There's a phone number that is a toll-free number, and if they call that number, they will be connected with a mastered level clinician that can give them tips and tools. There's different books that they can send people, and mainly it's just about education and about the support, through the Alzheimer's Association. So there's tons of information, but there's also a local office. It's in Columbus, and David Marlowe is one of their outreach coordinators in Columbus. And what he will do if a person goes to ALZ, gets connected through that community, David Marlowe will be the one to reach out to someone, to reach out to that person, to see if there's anything in the community that they would need. need, and that's available to them, and at what cost. And typically, the things that he finds are at no cost to the caregiver. He does different educational courses around our community. Different churches. If there are any churches, then that's what I would ask you guys out there in LaGrange. If you have a church that David could come and speak at, you know, about Alzheimer's, the warning signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's, you know, different resources available in the community, things like that. That's what he's getting out there and educating people on.
Okay.
He's been wonderful about that.
Very good. And you talked about, you know, getting, you know, the word out and educating people.
Yeah.
And I know this is something that you probably noticed, you know, with the passing of your grandmother. What are some of the signs that people can look for in a patient there?
Yeah, I got them. Let's see, right here.
Okay.
Yeah, because I will not remember.
Not remember. Okay.
Okay. And so what the Alzheimer's Association says is that, you know, if you have one of these signs and symptoms, you know, it's not that you have dementia. It just means that, you know, maybe you have a stressful life. Maybe you started your master's program, you know, something like that. But it's when you put these different things together, and also they press. There's a template that they use on ALZ.org that says, please listen to these concerns and have a conversation with your physician about these concerns. So they list it out here. It says, know the 10 signs: memory loss that disrupts daily life, challenges in planning or solving problems, difficulty completing familiar tasks at home, at work, or at leisure, confusion with time or place, trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships, new problems with words in speaking or writing, misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace steps, decreased or poor judgment, withdrawal from work or social activities, and changes in mood and personality. Or the 10
most recognizable signs.
Right.
And together, combination of those may mean that there may be some signs of dementia or Alzheimer's. Okay. But those alone doesn't necessarily mean that, right?
Right.
Help me out there, Josh. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Very good.
Yes. And really pressed to, you know, if you're curious about it, if you want to seek more information, go to ALZ.org. But also, just as important, speak with your physician about it. You know, if you feel like that is going to be an issue, because it's such a growing concern in America. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death. It is the most expensive disease out there. When you look at healthcare expenditures across the board, Alzheimer's disease with caregivers, you know, someone with severe Alzheimer's, they're a full-time job for a caregiver. You know, having to make sure that, you know, if they're wondering, if they're a person that wonders a lot, you know, is there, you know, do you have the house set up in a safe way? And one of the benefits of Alzheimer's Association is they have one Safe Return, which is a bracelet system that they use. It includes their medication information, their home address, things like that, in case, you know, a loved one with Alzheimer's wanders out of the house. And you hear stories on the news all the time about someone found 10 miles from the house, freezing cold and hungry. If someone finds them, you know, what do you do with them? And that's where it helps, you know, with that person.
Very good. Josh, let's make sure that we get in the date of the walk and the time and the location. A lot of great information. We could talk all day, but we definitely want to make sure that people know where and when. That's right. There we go. Sorry. That's all right. Go ahead and tell us where it's going to be held and when, if you don't mind.
Yeah, September 16th. It's going to be at Vernon Woods again this year. It's going to be at 8:30. We are going to start, you know, bringing people in. We urge people to please park at ECCC, Enoch Callaway Cancer Center. From there, we're going to have 2 buses this year that are going to transport people from the ECCC over to Vernon Woods. So that starts at 8:30. We'll probably start a little bit sooner, to be honest with you, maybe 8:15. People will probably start coming in. At 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock is when we're going to start the ceremonies. You know, speaking engagements. Reverend Sledge is going to be there for our prayer. We have one of the police, I think he's a captain, is going to be there to talk about how Alzheimer's affects our community.
Okay.
We'll sell chicken biscuits, or more of chicken. Chick-fil-A was kind enough to give us, chicken biscuits. So we'll, if you want to, put money towards the effort, then it goes to the Alzheimer's Association.
Okay.
We'll have tons of fun things for people to do, and then the walk starts about 9:30.
Okay.
It's only a 2-mile walk. It's easy. It's very easy. And this year we're not going around the pond. We're not doing that. That was very confusing last year. We did 2 laps around the pond, and everybody got confused. So we're just doing, yeah.
Okay. Well, very good, very good. And I know that the community, as always, will come out for this very, very worthwhile call. And talk about teams too, because you all still accepting teams, correct?
Yeah. There's 2 ways of raising money for the Alzheimer's Association. We have sponsorships, which are businesses, giving money. We'll market their logos on the websites, on the T-shirts, things like that. By the time this airs, this will probably be too late for that, to be honest with you, to get on the T-shirts or anything. But we can definitely get the company on a website.
All right.
But for teams, every team has their own fundraisers that they want to do, and it's up to them. If they want to have a yard sale, bake sale, it just have money given to them. That we have bracelets that we can sell, forget-me-nots. LaGrange College baseball, I got Coach David Kelton involved this year, and so he got me to one of their team captains, Zach English, and as a team, they came up with an idea for a wiffle ball tournament. Okay. It's supposed to be this Thursday, but the rain's coming in pretty good. So we're going to probably postpone it to September 17th and do a 10-team wiffle ball tournament. Raise about $500.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun doing those. Different activities, different fundraisers. I'm raffling off my beard. Whoever
what you're going? Okay.
Yeah. Whoever wins the raffle gets to shave it however they want to, and I got to wear it like that for 3 days. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Fun times.
Hey, well, anything
different.
Something different. That's right. Something different. Well, this is, again, this is such a great cause, and I know that my next guest, whom you know as well, Kevin Dunn, is going to be coming on because there's going to be a concert later that evening to raise funds for Alzheimer's and the walk and everything of that nature. But again, if there was someone that had questions, Josh, if you don't mind, as we close out, give me your contact information. If somebody wanted to talk about a team or just contact you and ask them additional information, if you don't mind.
Yeah. My number is 706-302-1717. Okay. If you have questions about getting in touch with the Alzheimer's Association, alz.org is the best route to go. But if you have any questions about what home health can provide, what hospice can provide, information about the nursing homes, especially dealing with someone with Alzheimer's, home health, hospice, and the nursing homes can be a great resource for you. Okay. But most importantly, getting onto alz.org and getting in touch with David Marlowe at the Columbus branch, and that's
okay. Well, Josh, always a pleasure to sit down with you, to assist with a very worthwhile cause in our community. And we know once again the community will come out and support this effort just as they do all the other efforts. So I want to thank you for being on the show today. And ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week and Facebook Live in just a moment. Welcome back, City Week, ladies and gentlemen, and also Facebook Live. As I told you before I left off with Josh O'Neill, I was going to be joined now by Mr. Kelvin Dunn. Kelvin, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here, Alton West.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with, I'm always, sometimes I'm a little leery about having another television host on the show. Because they can watch my glitches and they say, I wish you wouldn't say that, I wish you wouldn't do that. But I know that you're not that type of person.
No, sir, because I have a few glitches of my own.
That's right. Well, Kevin, tell us a little bit, and I know you need no introduction, first of all, because I know that everybody in our community know Kevin Dunn. But tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, basically, I'm Kevin Dunn. I just reached a milestone as it relates to a birthday. I just turned 50 on June the 23rd.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. And, of course, I work for WJCN TV, the father of 5. And I have 5 beautiful kids.
That's right.
3 still kind of like at home, but 2 of those are in college now. And so now just me and my 12-year-old pretty much is at home now. And of course, you may know my wife transitioned to be with the Lord back on July the 6th, July the 4th, 2016.
That's right. That's
so
right.
just by the grace of God, we're doing really good, and we're pressing on and moving and continue to honor her and her legacy as well as we move on.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're talking about that, Kevin, and I had the honor to realize and to recognize that I think the first scholarship recipient of the Deborah Dunn's went to someone that's associated here.
Exactly. Landon had a scholarship committee that loved my wife dearly. All of them were educators. Some of them were in science, and they looked through all the applications, and everybody was on the same page as it relates to Philip Landon. I think it's Landon, and very commendable that they saw fit to award him with the $2,500 scholarship.
That's right. Outstanding young man. I've seen him grow up, and I know his father come from a great family. From one great family to another, I think it was well deserved of that young man receiving that scholarship there as well. Well, Kevin, now again, I tell you need no introduction. You've been around for a very long time, and as you mentioned a moment ago, God has given you a vision to do various things, and I understand that for 15 years you've been ministering out at the hospice LaGrange. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, 15 years. Where's all the time went? I have no idea. Some 15 years ago, when I was laid off from Shorewood Packaging, I knew I had a gift to sing, and of course I wanted to go to the nursing home. That's what I told myself. And I'll never forget being at a traffic light over at Clark Holder Clinic at the time, after dropping one of my kids off at Hollis Hand, and God said hospice. And I was like, oh no, because only one thing I know about hospice, So after a few weeks, I called Joyce Wood, was the volunteer coordinator at the time, and called her and got me started. I went through the training, and I can't believe it's been 15 years. But it's something I told God that He's given me a gift that I would use it for the benefit of serving Him and serving others. And so that's kind of like where it all started from. And I've rotated different days throughout how I was working over the years, but now I go every Monday, generally between 11:30 and 12. I go every Monday now. All right. So yeah.
So if anybody wants to hear the voice of Mr. Kevin Dunn, you can go out to hospice. But then there's also another event that's coming up that you can get opportunity to hear this great voice, and that's going to be an Alzheimer's concert. That's
benefit for West Georgia Hospice.
That's right. Thank you, Kevin, for getting me right. See, I told you that's why I was a little leery about having another host on. The benefit.
Good.
And that's going to be held on September the 16th. Out at Faith Baptist Church. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, 6:30 p.m. Want to let you know that there is no admission charge. An offering will be taken up midway during the concert, and all proceeds will go to benefit West Georgia Hospice. Along with me in concert would be the teen trio from Faith Baptist Church. These girls really can sing. New Community Church Praise Ensemble, they will be there as well. And the church I attend, Pilgrim Baptist Church, our Praise Ensemble will be there as well. And I just wanted to give a shout out to some of my major sponsors who have allowed us to have have billboards and commercials, all over. Cofield Comfort Systems, Lee's Crossing Tire, and the good folks out at Charter Bank. We really appreciate them being a part of this as well.
Okay.
So it's called a night of worship and unity on that night, and we're just going to come together and we're going to celebrate the goodness of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ through song and diverse event. A lot of times churches, people are so busy in their own churches, they seldom get the chance to fellowship with other churches. So this is an opportunity to bring us together, bring the community together, and just be surrounded in love, because we need a lot of love right now, especially in these days and times. So we've got some great musicians that'll be playing that night as well.
Okay.
So it's going to be a fun night, and we'll celebrate God and believe Him to do exceedingly above all that we could ever ask or imagine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I understand this is the second annual benefit.
Yes.
For West Georgia Hospice and Alzheimer's, and I know that you're very spiritual and God sent and everything. What do you feel? What do you, as far as a goal? Okay. What do you want God to do in this event for you?
First and foremost, I want people to be able to come and witness and feel God's presence and feel His Spirit move. And so that is the first and primary goal that we set ourselves up as ministering that night, that God's presence can fill the place. And that's ultimately the first goal. Second goal is it is a benefit.
Okay.
West Georgia Hospice, they do a lot of things for the community, patients that people will never know about. And so these funds will allow them to do what they continue to do as they serve the community as well.
Okay.
So we're looking for, we're believing God for a lot of funds to come in at night, and everything. The only recipient of these funds is West Georgia Hospice. Nobody gets anything.
So it stays right here in the community.
Right here in the community, and so we're expecting to supersede what we did 2 years ago. When we were fortunate enough to have a little over $7,000 to come in. So we expect that the funds, and thirdly, just bringing the community together and feeling the presence of love, that we're all one body, that we all bleed red, and just to love on each other as a community.
That's right.
And maybe our love here will spread abroad throughout the surrounding areas. So those are three things that I would like to see take place on that night.
Very good. Kevin, and as you talked about, love is definitely what we need, and especially in a time like now, we look at other cities. I know that everybody's seeing Houston and what's going on there.
Exactly.
We continue to pray and lift those people up, and also those that are going in to assist, and all the rescue teams and things of that nature. And that's one of the things that can bind us all together is love.
Exactly.
And coming together as a community, and when there's a cause in this community, I know and have seen to be a very generous community for any cause that that comes up. Whether it be sending assistance to flood victims or hurricane victims or whatever the case may be. So I know that the community will come out and support your cause, because the funds will stay here and assist families here in our communities. Now, Kevin, I got to ask this question because you were talking about, and I know that when you're talking about bringing people together to sing and various things like that, how do y'all prepare for this? Because I hadn't been to one, but I've seen you sing and heard you sing. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
You have to be prayerful when you're putting on events of this magnitude, and just trust that God will send you the right people. I feel that diversity is the only way to go when you're doing groups. When you're doing singings of this magnitude. So he just speaks to you after you pray and you listen, and he knows my heart and my passion, and so the people who are coming in to sing, God has blessed them tremendously with their gifts, and they bring a separate entity to the table as far as worship and praise music. So you'll have maybe some old, maybe some new. We'll do some a cappella as well, and we'll do some praise and worship as well. And they'll bring a lot of energy with them as well. Okay, just a variety there. So there'll be something for everybody. Be something for everybody, and I try to make sure that takes place as well. So that's because I had other groups that I was But this is how God set it up.
Okay.
And we go with it.
We just got to go with it. That's what he said. That's right.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm led to do this.
Absolutely.
And the people who are participating are led
very good
to be here.
Now, if there was someone that's watching, Kevin, and I know there's someone that may come that night of the show, of the benefit, rather, if they want to make a check payable to somebody, who do they make that payable to?
You make that check out to West Georgia Hospice.
Okay. All
and
right.
if you're not able to make it, that'll be fine. Or if you want to just drop it off,
okay.
we'll have hospice volunteers and coordinators will be on site if you like to just put it in their hands as well. And so West Georgia Hospice, make a check out to them.
Okay. And then I think it's important to know that the contributions are tax deductible.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Because this is charitable, so it's definitely tax deductible as well. So when you write that $1,000, $5,000 check, or however you want to do that,
that's right.
That'll be to your benefit in several ways.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, again, Kevin, if you don't mind, tell them when and where.
Okay.
And then, of course, we probably want to tell them, because the location will only hold so many people.
Right.
Talk about that if you don't mind, too.
Saturday, September the 16th, 6:30 p.m. at Faith Baptist Church in LaGrange, Georgia. Faith Baptist Church is the church that hosts Judgment Journey every year. I also do the He's Alive presentation. I think Faith holds about 1,200 seats inside the sanctuary. So we'd like to have that filled as well. We'd like the offering tray to be filled, and we'd like the sanctuary to be filled as well.
Okay.
And New Community Church Praise Ensemble will be with me. Pilgrim Baptist Church Praise Ensemble and the teen trio will be there as well.
Okay.
And a lot of great musicians will be playing with me also.
Very good.
Yeah.
Kevin, I just can't say thank you enough for what you do in our community.
Thank you.
And we just continue to want God to bless you and all those that will be participating in this benefit to go to a very worthwhile cause. Josh was on just a moment ago talking about the program as well, the Alzheimer's Walk that will be held that same day, early in the day. And then the climax of the evening, come out and hear Kevin Dunn and the other ensembles that will be there at Faith Baptist Church. Kevin, I want to thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
And by all means, I'm going to try to make sure that I'm there early too, so that I can get a seat. All right.
I hope you can, man.
Right.
Love to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Kevin.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week and Facebook Live in just a moment.
Nobody wants to be stopped by a law enforcement officer.
Everyone wants to feel safe.
So we trained our officers to first listen and then explain.
We ask if you have contact with one of our officers, you listen, give him an opportunity to explain, comply with his requests, and if there's a problem, contact us so that we can investigate your complaint.
Listen, explain, comply, then complain.
Our safety and yours matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from Wellstar, West Georgia, the Accounts Executive Benefit Business Developer, Josh O'Neill, as he talked about the upcoming Alzheimer's Walk that will be held on September the 16th out at Vernon Woods, starting at 8:30, but the walk itself will take place at 9 o'clock. So come on out and support this very worthwhile cause in our community. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you can climax the evening that same day, September the 16th, by attending the West Georgia Hospice Benefit Concert that will be taking place at Faith Baptist Church out on Hammett Road. There's a wonderful lineup, so come on out and support this very worthwhile cause being put on by Kevin Dunn and some of the other surrounding musicians. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this interview, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.